Robots aren't coming, they're already here in hospitals, factories, and maybe soon, your kitchen. But here's the real question. Who's making money every time one of those robots goes to work? Well, in this video here, I will walk you through 3 robotic companies quietly leading the charge and why missing them now could feel a lot like ignoring Apple just before they released their revolutionary iPhone. All right, so let's start with Intuitive Surgical, which is a medical robotics company behind the Da Vinci surgical system, which is probably the most well-known and widely used medical robot out there. These robots help surgeons perform minimally invasive surgeries with incredible precision. That means, smaller cuts, less pain, quicker recovery times, and fewer complications for patients. Now, what makes Intuitive stand out is its super sharp business model. So hospitals invest heavily in their Da Vinci systems, which can cost over $1 million each. But the real money comes after the sale. Intuitive earns recurring revenue every time a surgery takes place by selling single-use instruments, and they have service contracts.
In fact, about 84% of Intuitive's revenue comes from recurring sources, not the initial system sale.
Yeah, and to be honest, that's kind of an insane stat. So thanks for pointing that out, Tiara. And by the way, if you're into business models that pretty much print money quietly, right? Go ahead and hit subscribe as I try to cover these kinds of opportunities any chance I get. But so far, over 14 million procedures have been performed using Da Vinci systems globally, and the number keeps climbing as more hospitals adopt the technology. Now, Intuitive's newest system, the Da Vinci 5, offers improved control and 3D vision, and it's also branching into new areas with platforms like Ion, which helps doctors find and biopsy lung nodules earlier and more accurately. So as far as robotics investments go, this one's about stability, strong cash flow, recurring revenue, and long-term growth trends in healthcare. Now, it might not be, the flashiest pick out there, but that's sort of the point, right? Now, while Intuitive is leading the charge in operating rooms, the next company that we're going to be covering is building robots for a very different kind of workplace. And they're doing it at a massive global scale. So let's talk about a company that's shaping the future of automation far outside of hospitals. So ABB Limited is a global giant in robotics with a 50-year track record and more than 600,000 industrial and collaborative robots installed around the world. Their machines are at work in all kinds of industries, right? So from automating massive car factories to assembling tiny electronics and even handling food and beverages. One of ABB's coolest innovations is what they call the Yumi family of collaborative robots. So picture robotic arms working right next to people, handling repetitive tasks so that humans can focus on work that actually requires creativity and flexibility. Now, in places like electronics assembly, these robots mean that factories can run more smoothly without having to fully separate people from machines. And their flexibility and safety features have set new standards for how humans and robots work together. But ABB isn't, just stopping with robots locked to the floor either. They're quickly expanding into autonomous mobile robots, or AMRs, which are like highly advanced robotic carts that move freely through giant warehouses directed by AI. Now, this push is extremely important as industries like e-commerce, logistics, and even healthcare demand more flexible and scalable automation. So from a business perspective, ABB is shaking things up for investors, right? They recently announced a plan to spin off their robotics division by 2026, which is going to be turning that into its own public company. And the goal is to unlock more value for shareholders and give their robotics division business as a whole the room that it needs to grow in a market expected to reach over $130 billion annually. ABB's customer base, it's enormous, including everything from car makers to smartphone manufacturers and even grocery distributors. And as automation spreads into newer sectors, ABB is likely to stay at the center of the action. Okay, so are you ready to jump into our highest risk, highest reward pick in the robotics world? Well, the last company on our list here is working on robots with technology that's kind of straight out of science fiction. While a lot of people know Tesla for its electric cars, rightfully so, the company's boldest bet is on robots that look and move like humans. Tesla's Optimus project is focused on building general-purpose humanoid robots designed to take on dangerous, repetitive, or even boring tasks, both in factories and eventually in homes and businesses. Tesla has already shown real progress with this. So the company has showcased Optimus, which is their robot, performing various demo tasks like serving popcorn to guests at the newly created Tesla diner in Los Angeles. And these aren't just publicity stunts. Each milestone demonstrates advances in Tesla's AI, motion control, and robotics hardware. Optimus is built using many of the same technologies that have powered Tesla's self-driving cars, which are advanced batteries, custom-designed electric motors, and powerful neural networks, as well as real-time sensor fusion. The ability to leverage that in-house tech is a huge edge that most competitors just don't have. So looking to the future here, Tesla is aggressively scaling up its efforts. Elon Musk projects that by the end of 2025, thousands of those Optimus robots will be working inside Tesla factories, handling things like logistics and just simple manual labor tasks. The ultimate goal is to create personal robots that could someday cook, clean, or complete other household chores, which is a potentially massive market if the technology can be made reliably and affordably. Now, all this makes Tesla's robotics push both the highest risk and highest reward story of the three. The vision is enormous.
That's what she said.
But there are still major technical hurdles to overcome before a humanoid robot is ready for widespread commercial use. For example, let me know in the comments, would you let a robot into your house and to do all that stuff? Personally, I probably would, because I can't stand folding my laundry. But anyway, for the investors that are looking for something truly game-changing in the robotics space, and who can tolerate a bit of roller coaster volatility, Tesla's ambitious Optimus project is really hard to ignore. Now, the reality is robotics is reshaping the present, but quantum computing is going to drastically change the future. So in this video right here, I analyze 5 stocks positioned to skyrocket as quantum breakthroughs start shaking up industries worldwide. So go check that video out, and I will see you over there.